I haven't been in the mountains for what feels like an eternity. The calmness here, with nobody around. It's almost like I'm starting to forget how serene it can be. All I hear are the sounds of nature, the streams flowing, the trees whispering with their leaves, and the birds singing their hearts out. So, I made a decision to take a couple of days outdoors, to give my soul a bit of a rest. It was a good call. I know exactly where to go. I spent countless days picking those small yet incredibly sweet pears. It's a place etched in my memory since I was a child. Here I am now, planning to spend the whole day. It's a bit shadowy, which is a relief, and being on a hill, it catches a nice breeze that keeps the heat away and, importantly, keeps those pesky mosquitoes at bay. After quite a trek from the village, walking up and down the hills, the first thing I needed was a hot drink. Tea seemed like the perfect choice. I managed to start a fire with some dry leaves and sticks I found around. The wind even helped to get it going stronger. I added thicker sticks to keep it stable and give off more heat. Putting the kettle on was a breeze, as I'd already prepared a support pillar from a branch. I got some water for the tea from a nearby spring. In just about 10 minutes, the water was boiling. I poured some tea leaves into the kettle, let it sit close to the fire, to brew just the way I like it. I found myself a spot with a perfect view of the valley. Added a few lumps of sugar to my drink. Nature's my toolkit, no spoon needed. Okay, so time to get things rolling. I cleaned up the area for a makeshift hut. Picking out some rocks I found here that'll come in handy later. The logs I brought along were going to be the frame for the hut, and one looked like an arch. Perfect for the entrance. I fixed up the hole, made some incisions needed for the construction. and then another log, a bit smaller and arched. I cut some grooves for better stability and used some rope. The sun was beginning to set, and I knew I had to keep at it until nightfall. So I fixed and tied the side logs, completed the hut's frame, covered it with plastic, and loaded it with bunches of leaves. Nights get cold in the mountains, so I packed in a lot. I had a nighttime cup of sweet tea and left the fire burning for warmth. And to keep any wildlife at bay. Good morning. I woke up feeling well rested. And it was time for another hot drink. The coals were still glowing from last night, so the fire started up right away. I got some fresh water from the spring, but I fancied something different today. Maybe an espresso or Turkish coffee. The water boiled, I mixed in some Nescafe. No sugar needed. And then I sipped away while admiring the view of the valley below. I had some spare time. Thought of improving the hut. Maybe for someone else travelling through someday. As the sun rose higher, I decided to whip up some food before packing up. I used a flat limestone rock as a frying pan. Lamb shoulder was on the menu, the finest from my herd. I started by frying some fat to prepare the stone. Then I sliced it up and spread it out evenly. I fried some potatoes in the fat. Salted them. Then added tomatoes, onions and peppers to the mix. Finally, time for the meat. I cleared a spot on the stone, sizzled the lamb slices. Added a pinch of salt for taste, and then once it was cooked, plated up. Potatoes on the pita first, while the meat was still sizzling away. Tip for outdoor cooking, by the way. A wide-bladed knife is a real game changer. I waited a bit longer, letting the meat cook slowly. Once it was done, my pita plate was good to go. I wrapped some meat on the pita, added a slice of potato, onion and pepper, brought along some grapes, and believe me, it was better than wine. Delicious. Absolutely super.